Good morning, my friends. How are you? Welcome to another edition of Behind the Mic with me, Mike Avery. On a morning that I didn't realize I was losing my voice until I got in here this morning and started talking and went, my voice is very weak. Normally, my voice is pretty strong. So I think probably I sound like an old guy this morning because, at least from my perspective on my end, my voice doesn't sound very good at all, which is not a big deal unless you make your living on the radio. Then you want your voice to be nice and strong, which it is not this morning for some reason. I don't know why. Paul, good morning. How are you? Tim, always a pleasure. Joel, nice to have you with us. Renee, a name. Let's see, Renee, a name that I think I first saw come in here last week, and you've been with us on a regular basis now. I do appreciate that. Thank you. Cliff, good morning. How are you? And the more I talk, the worse my voice seems to get. That'll be fun after 4 hours of talking, right? A 3 hour radio, well, a live stream right now, and then a 3 hour radio show, and then a half-hour podcast. We're going to do an offshore tackle podcast today, so my voice should be shot by then. And then a Wednesday night live tonight from a secret northern Michigan location. This just popped up at the last minute. So I will not be in my home office tonight. Paul, I'll be back for the golf outing third annual on the 31st. Yep. I mean, unless something unforeseeable happens. That's what I'm drinking, Tim. Hot coffee right here. Although it's not as hot as I'd like. I poured it a little bit early. Actually, Denise poured it a little bit earlier this morning, and it got a little bit lukewarm on me. But yeah, hot coffee always helps. But yeah, I did talk with the president of the board of directors for MUCC, and I think we're on the right track. I think our partnership will remain strong, which is good to hear. I didn't know what was going to happen after Amy left. Mad Jack, good morning, buddy. How are you? Hello, Tommy. Always a pleasure. TJ, buddy, how you doing? Pleasure to have you along with us as well. I will tell you who's coming up on the radio show here in just a little bit. Here, a few thoughts though. Michigan Bear season started today. I'm pretty sure. 10th. Yeah, the Michigan Bear season started today. Johnny Bowler, Gary Morgan, all of our Michigan Bear guides and bear hunters, good luck to you. I wish I had a Michigan tag. I do not. Hopefully for third season next year. John, good morning. How are things at Jay's? Lee, how are things in Tennessee? John Callison, one of the good guys, now working at Jay's. Like a dream come true for you. I'm glad to see you in that position. John is working in the marketing department. You can follow John. What is it, John? Callison Sport Fishing? Or just do a search for John Callison Kayak Fishing. Yeah, there's no reason to believe we will not continue the partnership. In fact, we're already working that direction, so I'm pretty excited about that. Chris said it's another beautiful morning in Kansas. Aren't most of them beautiful morning in Kansas? Craig Plowman. Man, that does sound like a good day. Craig Plowman, my good friend, heading to Rapid River Knife Works, then hunting with Johnny Bowler, a dream day. Good luck to you and Michelle, Craig. I'm so excited for you guys. Todd, does that mean, okay, he's going to Rapid River Knives. Here's my chance to bring this up. I've been talking with Chris Durson of Rapid River. He wants me to let you know on this Mike Avery signature knife, they are making them as fast as they can and shipping them as fast as they can. However, this knife, each one of these is a handmade custom knife. Chris says you can't do these things overnight. They take time. And then it takes some time for the shipping too. He was saying, and this makes a lot of sense, that in today's world of Amazon, where you go online and you order something and it's at your house the next day, people expect that from everything. You can't expect that on a handmade custom knife from Rapid River, in particular the Mike Avery knife. So they're making them, they're shipping them. They're putting them out the door as fast as they can. But the Avery knife is not the only thing they're working on. They're working on their own, the other knives as well. So be patient. The knives are coming. Okay, Todd, you say you're in the stand. The only thing I can be thinking that you would be in the stand for is a bear hunt. Excellent. TJ, my dad will be getting his tag for Red Oak next year. Hopefully, TJ, I mean, I hope he does too. But with today's point system, I mean, I hope he does too. I guess my point is it's never a guarantee until you get it, right? Corey, good morning. How are you? Bob, nice to have you along with us. Cliff, I've been seeing a lot of yellow in the trees. Fall is coming. I've been seeing a lot of red in the maples. I mean, a lot of red in the maples. And you're right. Fall is indeed coming. John says, great. Prepping assets for the anniversary sale. Thank you, Mike. My YouTube, Instagram, Facebook are Callison Fishing, not Sport Fishing, Callison Fishing. Thank you, John, for that. I appreciate it. Speaking of Jay's anniversary sale, the plan is right now for Chris Durson of Rapid River, okay, Rapid River Knives, and I will be at the Jay's store, the Clare location. I'm thinking late morning to present a check to Andrew Cumptus of Outdoor Driven with the first installment of the proceeds from the Mike Avery knife. And just, if you're kind of new to this, you might say, well, Avery, it's kind of egotistical for you to put your name on a knife. And I agree, it is. But we were trying to set this knife apart to use it as a fundraiser, a way to raise funds for Outdoor Driven to get first responders and veterans on outdoor adventures. So I will be up there next Saturday morning, the 20th. So thank you, John, for that reminder. Paul, I'm not up to par of Michigan Bear, but I've heard that our bears are on a decline. Do you think putting a die limit, what does that mean? Help me out. I do not believe our bear numbers are on the decline, Paul. In fact, I believe they're on the increase. Anecdotally, I can tell you that I absolutely am convinced that the range of the animals is expanding. We are seeing more bears downstate now in the central Michigan, mid-Michigan area. It's not uncommon at all to find bears wandering around. We had a bear on our lease property last year. Uncle Johnny, who's standing by here, they've got a bear at their hunting lodge in Ogemaw County. So bears are working their way down. Anyway, Johnny, good morning to you, buddy. I will see you and Aunt Debbie tonight, where we will be doing a Wednesday night live from a secret northern Michigan location. Jim, good morning. How are you? Bernie, always a pleasure. Bernie, how's the golf game? My golf game is on hold for a while. I really screwed my shoulder up, and I don't know how. I didn't do anything, but today's the first day where I've actually even been able to move my shoulder. For the last 2 days, I've been, what's the word I'm looking for? Out of commission, ineffective, screwed up. The doc pulled one of your tricks, Uncle Johnny. He put a steroid shot in there, so I think that's helping. How many knives have been sold so far? TJ, I'm not trying to be rude, but that's not a number that we're going to publish. Suffice to say they're selling very well. And Chris Durson of Rapid River is very happy. He said, Mike, your knives are selling incredibly well, especially given the fact that it's not a giving season right now, meaning it's not grad season, it's not Father's Day, it's not Christmas yet. I think we'll probably give a check for like $2,500 or so to Outdoor Driven. Brian, good morning. How are you? Boy, Brian, we're seeing some nice bucks. And my son James showed me a picture of a buck across the road and north of you guys. In fact, I'll find it right now and I'll send it to you. It's ridiculous. Now, James knows everybody out there. Let me find it. Oh, let me send a quick one off to my daughter here. My oldest daughter. Okay, let me check these. I really want you to see. There we go. Here we go. I'm going to send this to you right now, Brian, in a message. There he goes. And boom. I just sent it to you, Brian. There's also video of that buck, but that's crazy, isn't it? Judy, good morning. How are you? Jordan, you are so exactly right. The youth hunt is this weekend. Small game, bear, salmon, bow season all barreling down. A great time of year to be a Michigan outdoorsman. It is. Or outdoors woman. I'm going to talk about the youth hunt at length this morning or on the radio show. I probably won't talk too much about it now because I don't have time, but I have some very strong thoughts on the youth hunt. And what it boils down to is my thoughts are anyone who complains about kids shooting big bucks during the youth hunt is a crybaby and you're being selfish. But I will expound on that during the radio show. Erica, good morning. How are you? Cliff, time to start planning the next Mike Avery signature knife. Not yet. Not yet at all. No, we're going to ride this wave as long as we can, make as much money as we can, and then maybe consider the next knife. And I don't know what it would be. Would it be a fillet knife? Would it be, I don't know. I think this knife right here fills the sweet spot. And this is why I chose this knife, was because I think it's probably the most versatile knife that anybody can carry, and you can get the most use out of this. You can do anything with this knife. Deer in South Carolina. Okay, well, good luck, Todd. Mike, good morning, buddy. How are you? Bernie went to the Bay City Country Club for 18 holes yesterday. Was not impressed with that golf course. Doubt that I would ever go back. Clubs will go in the basement when the bow season starts. I respect that, Bernie. Marty and Scandia wishing all those bear hunters good luck. And right there's one of those bear hunters we want to wish luck. Michelle Plowman hunting with Johnny Bowler, the Bear Whisperer. Although they're making a stop at Rapid River Knives first. Hey, Craig, and Michelle, if Craig is not on here still, would you remind him? If I remember right, Craig, your knife was one of them that was shipped in a cardboard box. When you go to Rapid River, would you please ask them to give you a nylon sheath for that? I'm going to text Chris Durson right now. Forgive me. There. So when you get up there, Craig, ask them for one of the nylon cases. Jerry, I'm glad you brought this up because I was just talking about this, and you should be in the next batch. I was saying that Chris Durson of Rapid River, regarding this knife right here, he wants me to point out that these knives are the most labor-intensive knife that they make at Rapid River. They are each knife is handmade and custom-made. That's why each knife will be a little bit different. He says it takes time to make these. Now, I would think since you ordered yours on August 7th that you should be in the next batch going out. But they're making them as fast as they can, and they're shipping them as fast as they can, keeping in mind they also have the regular lineup of Rapid River knives. So please be patient. It'll be worth it. Chris says, unbelievable. It never should have been shipped out in a cardboard box. Paul, Sow Limit. Didn't know where dye came from. Sow Limit. I'm fairly happy with our Michigan bear hunting rules and regulations, other than the fact that I would like to see more tags. I think our Michigan bear population is extraordinarily healthy. Jerry, good morning. How are you? Harry, a buddy has a bear on camera. Myers Lake and Groves. Now, Harry, I don't know where Grosvenor is. Myers Lake. I grew up at Myers Lake and What would that be, Harry? What was the road that went over to Evans? Harry, a friend of mine from childhood. We grew up as neighbors. I can't think of where Grosvenor is. And Harry, what is the road that ran over to Evans? Brian, same here. What does that mean, Brian? Does that mean you've seen that buck on camera? Did you get my picture, by the way? Randy, good morning. Johnny Bowler, the Bear Whisperer. We were just talking about you, Johnny. I was wishing you luck. On this season, which starts today. Michelle and Craig Plowman are on their way up. They are stopping by the Rapid River shop. So good luck to you, buddy. Send pictures. By the way, everybody, send me pictures of your bears. Send me pictures of your youth hunt deer. Send me pictures of your goose hunt. Send me pictures of your fishing trips. If you are sending me a picture of a big game animal, please, 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 put the animal's tongue in its mouth. It takes 2 seconds. And it goes from being a cartoon caricature to a beautiful picture respectful of the animal you harvested. Please put the tongue back in the mouth. If you don't, I can fix it. We're getting pictures with guard bone all rubbed off. That is a nice buck, isn't it, Brian? That's a stud buck. Just north of you, on the other side of the road. Well, let me narrow it down. Just north of the cornfield. Michael, good morning. How are you? Jay Wadersky, Sturgeon for Tomorrow. It was nice to see you last week, Jay, and your beautiful bride in West Branch, and I will look forward to seeing you at Wednesday Night Live coming up here in a couple of weeks, 2 weeks from today. John says he doesn't really care for the youth hunt. Please expand, John. Why do you not care for the youth hunt? I think it's wonderful. Tim says, I would pretend to be sick as a teenager to go hunting the first day of small game. It's not that way anymore. Thank you, Michelle. Paul, I got 2 sets of pictures. I got the ones that you sent me with Mike, and I got the ones that you sent me with Doug, and I chose not to post the ones with Doug only because I had already posted some really nice pictures with Mike. Oh, thank you, Bernie, for clarifying. I was not impressed because my golf game sucked there. The course was okay. Okay, thank you, Bernie. Thank you for clarifying because I took it the other way. Any thoughts on a minimum age for the youth hunt? They could be 2 years old. I don't care. I mean, that's an exaggeration, right? We lifted the minimum hunting age in Michigan several years ago and took that decision out of the state's hands and put it in the parents' hands, which is where it should be, in my opinion. Robert, good morning. You're welcome, Jerry. Morning, JT. How you doing, buddy? Linda, we will get that remedied. The knives are beautiful. Yours came, and thank you for that beautiful picture, Linda. Yours came in a box. It should not have. It should have come in a very nice nylon carrying case with a cleaning cloth. We will remedy that. We will get you that. We will fix that. Chris Durson, who I was just talking to a minute ago, said it should have never been shipped out that way. Luke, good morning, buddy. How are you? Luke Pulaski, Outdoor Conquest. Trini, one of the good guys. Good morning. How are you? I have to go with my granddaughter for grandparents' breakfast. That sounds wonderful, Chris. Have fun. Johnny Bowler, good luck to you, buddy. TJ, could not express that more. Just saw a picture the other day of a coyote with an arrow through the head, and that no way to promote our sport. Made me disgusted, actually. Yeah, I agree. Morning, Jim. How are you? Okay. And let me tell you real quick who's coming up on this week's radio show, because I haven't gotten to that yet. My first guest this week is Kyle Green of the Greenway Outdoors TV show. A fascinating young guy. I think he's maybe 30 now. That's just a guess. I don't know. He's actually has actually, I hate the word. Sometimes I sneak in actually lately. Actually doesn't actually carry any purpose because actually it's a wasted word, right? So why do I say actually? Actually, I don't know why I say actually. Sometimes it actually slips in. And when I catch myself saying actually, it drives me crazy. Linda, are you going to be at Wednesday Night Live? If so, that would be, if so, Michelle, that actually would be wonderful if you would actually pick that up, actually. Charlie, those are fair game. If you like those.
Ooh, it's got a fall feel to it.
Well, pumpkin spice, everything nice. They're from my wife Denise. You know what happens when you get into September? Everything's pumpkin spice.
Very nice, thank you. Minute and 15 seconds.
All right. Corey, good morning, buddy. How are you? Okay, so coming up on this week's radio show, Kyle Green of the Greenway Outdoors TV show. Tom Campbell there we go. Thank you, Facebook. Tom Campbell of Woods and Water News talking about the outdoor show that I didn't make it down to. I was a little under the weather this weekend. Then Mike Horswell, formerly of Jay's Sporting Goods, talking about venison processing. Cody Norton from the DNR on Michigan bear hunting. Dale got his Saturday with a pouch. Great looking knife. Love it. Good. That's the way it should be. I thought they were there, Jerry. If not, it was my mistake. But they will be. Andy Weiss will be at Wednesday Night Live up at the Lumberjack.
30 seconds.
And then Rich Grazan of Killer Food Plots answers this week's Ask Avery question. And in hour number 3, Ali Shakur talks about making the transition from summertime to fall fishing. And we wrap it all up with wild game chef extraordinaire Dixie Dave Miner. Charlie walks in here. He's like, Charlie blows in the door here.
10 seconds.
And now he's barking orders at me, giving me a countdown like he's the boss of me.
3, 2, 1.
Let me tell you a little secret.
Last stop.
For these 3 hours, Charlie is the boss of me.
I serve at your beck and call.
So the more coffee I drink, I think the stronger my voice gets. I'm still not happy with it, but. All right, my friends, have a great day. I will be back tonight at 7 o'clock for another edition of Wednesday Night Live from a super secret remote northern Michigan location. 989-343-0892 if you want to join us for Wednesday Night Live 2 weeks from tonight. 989-343-0892, 989-343-0892, 989-343-0892, 989-343-0892. Have a good day, my friends. We'll see you tonight. Well, thank you, Ken Hunter, for that introduction, and welcome to hour number 1. I almost said hour number 2. I got ahead of myself. The opening hour of this week's Outdoor Magazine radio show, the opening hour of 3 hours of talking about the outdoors, the great outdoors, the history and tradition of the outdoor lifestyle here in our great state of Michigan. Hunting and fishing and shooting and trapping and wildlife issues and conservation issues and wild game cooking to wrap up each week's show. And it's a wonderful time of year, isn't it? I just don't think there's a better time of year than this. I mean, once we get into Rocktober, yeah, that's good. I mean, that's great. But September's not bad. Not bad at all. Why is it not bad? Well, let's just say the early goose season's open, the teal season's open, bear season is open now in Michigan. The youth hunt this weekend, I'll be talking more about that. Then small game season, and then the bow season. I mean, it's rock and roll time now, isn't it? I love this time of year. The 20th, which is next weekend, next Saturday morning, I will be at Jay's Sporting Goods in the Clare store, along with Chris Durson of Rapid River Knives, to give away the first installment check to the folks at Outdoor Driven, Andrew Comptis. The knife, the Mike Avery signature knife is selling very well. Let me just take this minute, too. I was talking to Chris. He said, Mike, will you please tell your listeners to be patient with us? And I said, what do you mean? What do you mean? He said, Mike, your knife is so popular. We're making them as fast as we can, but please let people know, remind them, this is a handmade custom knife. And you can't make these things in just a few hours. It takes a while to put these things together. And then there's the shipping. In today's world of Amazon, where you go online and order something, and it shows up at your door the next day, people are getting a little bit spoiled. He says, we make these as fast as we can. We ship them out as fast as we can. But we're also making all of the other knives at Rapid River, and we're making your knife as fast as we can, and it takes time. So if you ordered in early August, your knife should be coming very soon. The first group that ordered them, I mean, they got them in like a week. But since then, it's been slowing down a little bit. But the folks at Rapid River are doing the best they can. Be patient. I promise you, it is worth the wait. You know what else I'm waiting for? Rain. Our food plots are not looking very good. We could really use some rain. The seed's been in the ground for weeks now, but we haven't had any good rain for weeks now. The deer are coming into those food plots, but I know if they would be lush and green and a few inches higher, we'd have more deer in there. I am not one of those people, though. I'm not one of these modern hunters, right? I don't have a hit list. I don't wait until they're mature. Am I going to shoot a small buck? Probably not. Not intentionally. Am I going to let a 140-inch 10-point walk in front of me without shooting him because he's not mature? No. I will tell you this. I think one of the things that's wrong, in my not so humble opinion, with deer hunting today is the fact that we have let the outdoor TV hunting shows ruin deer hunting. Again, in my opinion. Why is that? Because I think the TV hunting shows have created unrealistic expectations for the average hunter. The average Michigan hunter is not going to see the quality of deer that these folks are passing on these TV shows. But keep in mind, these TV shows are hunting very special situations, right? A lot of them are hunting out west. Private areas, highly managed areas. Some of them are even behind a fence, even if they don't tell you they're behind a fence. And so they're able to pass all these big bucks. You know, and I often use the illustration, if a kid, I'm talking 17, 18-year-old kid, right? He's been watching these TV shows, and he sees them passing up these bucks and shooting these monster, 160-inch bucks. And he goes out on state land, or he goes to the woods behind the house, and he shoots himself a 1.5-year-old 6-point, maybe a 1.5-year-old 8-point. Beautiful animal, and he's proud of that buck. And then he shows the animal, or he shows the pictures to his buddies, and they say, "Why'd you shoot that little buck? That's a baby. That's not like they shoot on TV. You should have let him go. Should have let him grow." See? If you want to let them go and let them grow, and if you are able to let them go and let them grow, God bless you. I am not interested in shooting a 1.5-year-old buck, maybe not even a 2.5-year-old buck. I'd rather shoot a doe. But that's my choice. But these hunting shows and these big name hunters, and you know who they are, and I'd love to name every one of them, but I won't because it'll just come back to bite me. You've seen them. You know how they hunt. They're very, very good hunters, most of them. But they're able to. That's what they do for a living. And they're in highly managed areas. The average Michigan hunter does not have that luxury. So don't get discouraged if you're not seeing bucks like they see and shoot on TV. Let's go to the next level here now. The Michigan Youth Hunt is this weekend. And the Liberty Hunt. I am a huge fan of the Youth Hunt. I love it. This is the first time in several years I haven't had a young hunter, being a grandchild, in the Youth Hunt because they've all aged out now. And my littlest guy is only a year old, so he's not out there yet. My littlest grandson. I love the Youth Hunt. And I think the people who cry and complain and moan about kids shooting big bucks during the Youth Hunt, can I be honest with you? And you're going to get mad at me. I think you're being a crybaby. I think you're being very selfish. And I don't think you're looking at the big picture. Well, I know, but those kids haven't earned that buck. Why do they have to earn the buck? When did that start, that they have to earn the animal? Well, they haven't put in their time yet. Okay. In today's world, with so many different things vying for these kids' attention, don't you think it's good that they're even out there in the first place? I do. Well, this is going to spoil them. They're going to get out there before the deer have been hunted and they're still dumb and it's warm out and it's comfortable. Okay, big deal. Well, I've been watching that buck all year. We've been watching him in our cameras and he's been in our food plots. And that's on my target. I named that buck. He's a target buck. He's on my hit list. It's not your deer. You don't own it. State of Michigan owns it until you put a tag on it. I don't care if it lives on your property. You don't own it until you put a tag on it. So the neighbor kid shoots it. Man up. Be happy for him. Well, Avery, you know what the youth hunt is? It's just an excuse for adults to go out there and shoot a buck and say their kid did it. Now, I might be naive, and I probably am. I don't think that happens very often. I can tell you what, in the circles I run, in the friends that I have, it never happens. If you know a lot of people and run in circles where that happens a lot, you should probably find a different group of friends. Because anybody who does that is a dirtbag, and they are a violator, and you should turn them in because they're doing something illegal and they're creating a very, very bad role model for those young hunters. Now, this year, it looked like the youth hunt was going to be does only. They changed that. It is an antlered hunt once again. So that means I will be posting a lot of pictures of young kids with big bucks, and they're all going to have smiles on their faces. And if that makes you irritated, if that makes you mad, so be it. I will post every one of them and be happy to do so. Can I ask this request, though, whether it's a bear picture, whether it's a deer picture, any big game animal? If you're going to send me a picture, check that. If you're going to take a picture of a kid or you sitting over an animal and you're going to post it online or even share it with your friends or just share it with your friends, will you take 2 seconds and put the animal's tongue in its mouth? Honestly, I see these beautiful pictures with a deer's tongue or the bear's tongue hanging out the side of its mouth, and it looks like a cartoon caricature. All we need is stars floating around the animal. Take 2 seconds, put the animal's tongue back in its mouth, and show that critter the respect that it deserves because you took its life. Now, on my phone, in my laptop, I actually have the tools to fix that. I can put its tongue back in its mouth, but I'd just as soon you do it in the field, okay? Okay, rant over. But there may be more. It's early in the show. There may be more. Coming up on this week's Outdoor Magazine show after the break, Kyle Green of the Greenway Outdoors TV show. I want to find out what's going on in his world. I'm telling you what, he is one of the best young promoters of conservation and hunting in this country today, and he's a Michigan guy. Then Tom Campbell of Woods and Water News talks about the outdoor weekend. How did it go? As I said, I didn't make it down there. I was under the weather. And actually, as I'm here in the studio right now, I realize my voice still sounds like really bad. We will power through. In hour number 2, Mike Horswell, formerly of Jay's Sporting Goods, now retired, talks about processing your own venison. Cody Norton from the DNR talks about bear season, the Michigan bear season. It is the Michigan bear season. Then Rich Krazan of Killer Food Plots joins me to answer this week's Ask Avery question. And my question is, Rich, can you make it rain? No, that's not the question. In hour number 3, we're talking with Ali Shakur about fishing fall weather patterns, and then we wrap it all up with wild game chef extraordinaire Dixie Dave Miner. My name is Mike Avery. Oh, by the way, if you want to join us for Wednesday Night Live at the Lumberjack, coming up on the 24th, 989-343-0892 for reservations, 989-343-0892 for reservations. All right, my friends, have a good day. Tell me why I'm wrong about the youth hunt. I'll listen. And I got to be honest, I think for probably every argument you come up with, I can come up with a counter argument. All right, have a great day. I'll be back tonight at 7 o'clock from an undisclosed secret northern Michigan location. 989-343-0892 for reservations. Have a great day.